One of the question types in Schoology Assessment that you might find helpful on your math tests are the label image type of question. Now this topic might have been covered in a previous Schoology Assessment workshop, but I'll show you how you could make a math question using this. So once you have your assessment started, you're creating that, go in and choose the label image type of question. The first thing you would do is upload an image. So you've already found an image online, so I'm going to use a coordinate plane to demonstrate this. So click the coordinate plane and click open, and it will upload that. Note you can replace the image if you don't like that. There's some additional options down here, such as entering a URL to a picture. I usually like to use the snipping tool and just save the picture by right-clicking instead of using a URL, but I suppose that would be fine as well. And then, of course, hit OK. So now my image is uploaded. Now up here, I might type my directions. For example, this one might say label each part of the coordinate plane. I can add some alternate text to the image. That would help if you have a visually impaired student. They might need a screen reader. The title of the picture could be added as well. Down here, in this small image is where you draw your boxes to fill in the blanks. So for this, I'm going to add 7 boxes. I'll add one for quadrant 1, one for quadrant 2, 3, and 4. And then I also would like the origin labeled. So let me draw that box down here. And because I want to point at the origin, I'll use this center button, which I can click and say I want a pointer on the top. And see how it puts a pointer on the top, and I can stick that right where I want it in the origin. And then I also would like them to label the X and Y axis. So I need another box. We'll put that here on this axis, and this over here on this axis. And again, I can put pointers. That one, oops, I've stuck that on the wrong one. So let me change that. I want that on the left. So I can say point at that line. And then box number 6, I'll say point at the top. So that helps identify what you want them to label. Now this fill color determines what color the boxes will be that they're going to fill in. If you want them to stand out a little bit, you could choose a different color. So there you go, such as that. This turns on a border, which if you're using white on a white background, I'd leave the border on. I usually don't mess with that. I just leave that alone. Now under possible responses, this is where you type in all your answers. So quadrant 1, etc. And then I can hit add option to get another box. Okay, so after you've added all your possible responses, then you come down a little farther on the page, and here is where you indicate your correct answers. So you just drag these into the appropriate boxes so that Schoology knows what the right answer is. You can, if you, for some reason, the type of question you have, maybe there are some answers that could be flip-flopped. You could create a second correct answer, and where this is also correct. But for this question, I'm just going to leave this one correct answer here. Scroll down, and under additional setup options, this first box, penalty score, it's automatically on 0. Just leave that on 0. This isn't what you think it is. A lot of times people will say, oh, if I make this a 7-point question and they miss 1, I want to put a penalty score of 1. That's not how this works. This is an additional penalty on top of missing the 1. Over here under scoring type, you have exact match or partial match. So exact match means they need to have all 7 of them in the right spot, or the question is completely wrong. Partial match allows them to lose a point or 2 if they have some of them wrong and some of them right. So if they have 2 of them wrong, they'll get 5 out of 7. Instructor stimulus, this is just a place for you to type some notes to yourself about the question. And that's pretty much it for this question. I'll save it and then come back and preview this. And you can see how this question works. Basically, the student would come in here and just drag these up to the correct spots. I'm going to purposely flip-flop these two so that you can see up here in the top, it says I got 500 out of 700. That's because I haven't set a point value on this question yet. I'll set a point value, but you can see that it does give you partial credit because I checked that partial match. If, oops, excuse me, let me switch these. If I put them in the right spot, then I get green, that it's all correct. So that's how you create a label image question. And this could be used for something like graphing, maybe for labeling geometric shapes. There's all sorts of math applications that you could use this for. Once you are done creating your question, don't forget to hit save. After clicking save, you can come back and decide how many points you would like that question to be worth. So this question, I have 7 labels, so I will make that worth 7 points. That will work nicely whenever the question is graded. And then additionally, when you set your settings for the entire assessment, make sure that you have the appropriate amount of points here. So if this is the only question I'm putting in the assessment, then I would make this a 7-point assessment. And then the grading will work out nice and you won't get any strange decimal points in their grades.